I eat lunch with some faculty, and we really enjoy doing that together with the students down in the lunchroom each day. And I just overheard a conversation between an alumnus of Hampton Park who is substitute teaching for us. Oh, he's wonderful. I kind of wish we could keep him forever. And a teacher who joined us just a couple of years ago. This teacher had taught in the public school system for over a decade. And then you had a fresh young teacher who's just out of college, getting ready to move to Utah and make teaching out there a missionary endeavor. So it's a neat win-win for him and us. He's getting some experience at Hampton Park where he's familiar before he goes out there. But he's also substitute teaching in the public school system and just finished his time of teaching to wrap up his undergraduate degree. So he is very fresh in the public schools. And it was interesting to hear the two of them talk to one another about their very recent experiences in the public school system. And each of them said, "Oh my goodness, I am so thankful to be able to teach at Hampton Park." The gentleman who's subbing for us, it's like, "Oh, this is just the most fresh thing today to be able to do this compared to yesterday in the public school." And then the teacher who had taught there for many, many years, she's, "Oh, I was, remembering my time there, and I'm just so thankful every single day to be able to teach at Hampton Park." And what they referred to, interestingly enough, was the students. I don't want to disparage anybody. I actually hate it when people ask me to contrast Hampton Park with other places. For one, I live at Hampton Park, and I don't have the fresh experience in these other schools. We hear, of course, things that come out of public schools on the news all the time, and most of that is pretty disparaging. All of that goes back to 1962 rings a bell, where they took prayer out of the schools, and then it seemed to be downhill since then. And these two teachers today at lunch were describing it, their recent experience using the term chaotic. And they were referring to how hard it was to teach in an environment where the students knew that they wouldn't get in trouble. They weren't motivated. And I think in many respects, many of those students don't have God's Spirit in them. They're not regenerate. They don't know the Lord. They're coming from homes potentially that aren't nurturing, like a good, godly Christian home. And again, not saying all of them are, but it seems to characterize the experience, at least for these two teachers recently. And again, there are some wonderful people in public schools, but at least for these two teachers who've recently experienced both, the contrast in what they experience in a typical day at Hampton Park compared to a typical day in public school is pretty dramatic. And they talked about how thankful they were to the Lord, how thankful they were to be able to interact with students who were motivated to learn, who were just simply respectful of them as human beings, as adults, as authority figures, as teachers who are sacrificing to teach these young people, where they don't sense that. They didn't sense that in the public school environment overall. And so I'm just so thankful when people ask me what I love most about Hampton Park. I say the people. And when I think that, I think about teachers like these who are investing in my kids and others each day and loving them and teaching them. And I think about those students who are my kids' friends, who are coming from homes who love God and are teaching them each day to love the Lord, to know Him and grow in their understanding of Him. And then they're coming to school each day around kids like that who want to learn, grow in the Lord. If I had more time, I'd talk about chapel today and the unbelievable experience we had singing together to the Lord coming back from Christmas break. And my goodness, you could just sense the love for the Lord and the gratefulness and being able to do that together as a group of students and adults who are together each day to learn and grow. What a wonderful experience to be thankful for. So yeah, that's a day in the life at Hampton Park, contrasted to our public school environment.